I said I wanna rock.
Are we gonna be goofing off like this every day?
We're not goofing off. We're creating musical fusion.
Wow. You're amazing, dude.
Thanks. I like to play.
I'm a small reporter from Rolling Stone magazine that's in town to do an exclusive interview with Michael Jackson.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
It is time for the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to Unsigned, Unhinged Meltdown. I am your host, Frank E. I got my roommate with me who's not going to talk as much because, well, she's kind of nervous and shy. But that's okay. I got Kaylee with me. Kaylee, you can say hi from the distance. It's okay. Hi. She's waving hi because, like I said, she's shy and nervous, but it's okay. I got from Green Bay, you know, that city that has that expansion football team. You know, the Packers. Yeah, that city. They actually have a football team. But I got Sweetalk with me. How you guys doing?
Good. We're good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I hope I didn't offend you guys if you were Packer fans, but that's okay.
Travis, I don't know if this is a good time to break this out, but Travis is a Vikings fan.
Well, I don't like the Packers, so it's okay.
All right, perfect. So we can agree on that.
I honestly cannot stand the Green Bay Packers. I'm from Wisconsin, and I hate the Packers.
Yeah, me too. I pretty much grew up here my whole life, but my parents are from Minnesota, so that's where I get that from. So.
Yeah, I'm a Tampa Bay fan, but my grandparents took me to my first football game in Tampa, so there's my excuse.
Good one.
Right on.
So,
I'm just glad you didn't say the Bears.
Well, no, I really can't stand the Bears too much either.
That would make the rest of this combo awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I respect Walter Payton. The man's one of the greatest running backs of all time. And I respect Brett Favre as being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I respect the history of the Packers, but I don't like the team. I can't stand him. I respect the history, but I don't like the team. And I think it's mainly from all the fans that I've dealt with in my life with dealing with Packer fans.
Yeah, they're the worst kinds of people.
Yeah, I've been to Lambeau Field watching a Tampa Bay game and was harassed by every Packer fan in the stadium. And they were like, "Go back to Florida." I'm like, "I'm from Wisconsin. You're a disgrace." Well, hey. You know.
I think to be fair, Packer fans harass other Packer fans too.
Oh yeah.
It's not necessarily the other team oriented all the time.
But in defense of Bear fans were very respectful to me. I was at Soldier Field, decked out in my Buccaneer stuff, and this was like right before we won the Super Bowl, the one Super Bowl that we won. Anyway,
you got one,
and we got one, and the Bear fans were like, "Hey, you finally got something to be proud of with your team, dude. Your team's looking amazing." I go to Green Bay, they're like, "Go back to Florida." I'm like, I got the same thing though when I was at Miller Park wearing my Cubs jersey, and the Brewer fans were harassing me, telling me to go back to Illinois, and I'm like, "I'm from Wisconsin." They're like, "You're a disgrace to this state." And I'm like, "Thank you. I hate Wisconsin."
That's how they greet you. That's how they say hello.
"You're a disgrace to Wisconsin," which means, "Hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you." But anyway, enough talking about football and my hatred of the state that we live in. We're going to talk about music and Sweetalk because we're all about the local music scene. So now the name Sweetalk, which how it was, like even how you spell it, which is Sweetalk. You know, which I've noticed that there's a lot of unique spellings and a lot of things that you guys do. What's the actual meaning behind the band title? Like, how did you guys come up with it, and why have the spelling that you guys had?
There's not a great story behind the name, other than it was one of this is back when we started the band 3-4 years ago.
I was drunk, and they said, "Dude, sounds like a good idea."
That's pretty close. Our former guitar player, Caleb, he actually came up with the name, and we had a gig schedule. We didn't have a name, and we were called something else. I think like At Odds or something. And none of us really liked that. And Caleb was like, "Well, I don't know. I was thinking like Sweetalk." And we're like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, but I think he suggested to spell it with just the one T. I can't remember where that came from exactly, but it was Caleb's suggestion, our old guitar player. And it was one of those things that we did the gig. We played under Sweetalk, and then we're like, we'll go back and we'll probably change it again. But here we are, 3-4 years later, and we never changed it. So it's stuck.
Hundreds of dollars of merch in. We're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I know.
But there was a famous band back in the day, and they're actually one of my favorite bands of all time, but they don't get much credit, which is Ugly Kid Joe, which I don't know if you guys knew of them. But when they were about ready to go on stage one time, they're like, "What's your band name?" And they were just sitting there looking at each other, and they said, Ugly Kid Joe, and it just stuck. And, I mean, I can't say, dude, look at how big they are, because they never really were really, really big. I mean, they were to me, because I thought they were awesome, but hey, you never know what can come up with something that's just like, well, oh, there's a name.
I think he got the idea from there's a Killer song called Sweetalk, and I think he got it from that. It's off of like a B-side album from them. Okay. And nobody shot it down right away, and I think that's why we just rolled with it for a little while.
Yeah.
And kind of like Travis said, we thought like eventually we'd come up with something better and change it, but I don't think anybody really cared enough to put the effort in to change the name because it's just a band name.
And it's just a band name is what he said. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at that.
It's just a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid. Band-Aid. It's just a Band-Aid to cover a flesh wound. It's okay. It's merely a flesh wound, that's all. And like I always tell my listeners how I hear of certain bands. Now, actually, when I was actually first starting the podcast and First Rule was giving me a bunch of band names to get a hold of, and they gave me Amberstein, and I was talking with Jake for a while, and I was like, dude, give me some bands to get a hold of so I can get this thing going. He goes, dude, you need to talk to Sweetalk from Green Bay. They are amazing. And that's how I heard of these guys. I've never actually seen them live, never actually heard of them at all until after, Jamie had sent me music over to listen to, but I was just going off of Amberstein going, dude, these guys are great.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, we love Amberstein. We've done several shows. We just played with them last week right here in town at the Lyric Room.
Yeah.
Man, they're solid. Solid guys, solid band. We love those guys. So.
We were talking last night at a place we were playing, and just kind of revisiting the previous week, and I was telling the guys, like, I don't know that I've ever heard Jake hit a bad note in, like, we've probably played, I don't know, maybe 10 shows with them in the last 3 or 4 years, and I've never heard the dude hit a bad note, ever. It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, like, my first experience with Amberstein is they were playing Shrimpfest in Kenosha here, and I was going to go and see the First Rule because I'm really good friends with those guys. And Chris was like, dude, make sure to go and check out Amberstein. And I'm like, okay. And then I had like 7 buddies bands that were playing at Shrimpfest. And I had like 15 minutes, 20 minutes between First Rule finishing and the other band starting. So I quick ran to the other room, listened to Amberstein for like 5 minutes, and then ran over to the other stage in the other room, which for a crippled guy to do is really kind of funny. Which Sweetalk's never see me, but I'm crippled. I walk around with a cane, and 9 times out of 10, I need to be in a wheelchair. But when I'm at shows like this, I push myself with the cane, and let me just tell you, it's funny to sit there and watch a bigger crippled guy just trying to walk warp speed with a cane from room to room. It's a sight to see. So I got to see him. I got to listen to him for like 5 minutes, and I probably heard the end of Demons and like the start of War. I think that's what it was. I don't remember, but I was like, it was crowded, and I couldn't really see the band. So I just sat down in a chair and was just listening. And I was like, oh, another band with a female front singer. I like it. And then, because how they harmonized so well, I thought there was a female in the mix.
Yeah.
And then I actually, Jake sent me over the CD, and I said, so who's the female in the band? And he goes, what do you mean? And I had talked with him. He goes, oh, no, that's all us, man. I'm like, I sat there like, oh, damn, I feel stupid right now. But then I actually got a chance to see him play at Hat-Tricks in Kenosha. Man, these guys are amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was very awkward, Kaylee.
We'll just look at our band, and they see my long hair, and they go, well, who's the female in the band? That's how we get asked that question.
Oh, man. Yeah. These things happen with guys that got the long hair. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. But, I mean,
all those dudes in that band can sing and play so well, though. It's nuts.
Yeah, I didn't think all three of the guys sing.
Yeah.
Which you don't get from you normally get that in the old school punk style from like the 90s, you know what I mean? Like late 80s, 90s, that style punk, you get like so many people singing. But this is a rock band with three guys that can all sing. And I was like, dude, that's impressive. I was impressed, very much impressed by that. But
yeah, they have such a thick sound that it sounds like more than just three dudes too.
Yeah, that's why I thought there was somebody else in the band that I didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah.
Sadly, I thought it was a female, and yeah. Anyway, moving right along. So, I mean, you guys had already said you guys had a former guitar player, but I know when we talked, when Jamie and I had talked, or when I was talking with Jake, he was saying that you guys had gone through another change with I believe it was with the drummer.
Yep. Yeah, so we were. Now we've gone through actually a couple of drummers really. The first couple didn't stick around long, and then the one guy Pete we had for a little bit. He played for a couple years, and we kind of went our separate ways. And then we're lucky enough to find Brian. Brian's got a lot of experience. I mean, played for how many years in the Dark Inside?
12 years, I believe. One band. It's unheard of.
So
that's some experience under your belt there, Brian.
Yep, I'm an old timer.
Oh, you don't look that old, at least from what I can see.
Yes.
It's like, I'm in the back and you guys can't see me. It's okay. And he's like, dude, I'm playing the drums. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't need to be seen, just heard.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, that guy can play drums. Steps out with his walker and a hover around. Holy shit.
Someday.
Holy hell, that guy's like 80. Yeah, Sonny, I am, but I can still play.
That'll probably still be us three in 50 years or whatever.
Probably.
50 years, my God, more like 20.
Just like the Bloodhound Gang, the drummer from the Leffords only got one arm. Well, we can be like, the drummer from Sweetalk has a hover round. The drummer from Sweetalk has a hover round. Oh, man. Good times, good times.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
Don't worry, dude. I use a hover round too, but that's because I have, like, my knees are, like, completely gone.
You get a trailer hitch on that bad boy, I wouldn't have to carry another drum in my life.
Here, let me just pull it up to the stage, Sonny. Oh, man. So you guys have the 2 CDs out, which I believe they're both available on iTunes, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you can get them on Amazon, I believe. I believe I've seen it on Spotify. I could be wrong.
Yep.
Mutiny's on Spotify, correct?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I have a Spotify that just has all local music on it. Just like my YouTube channel that I was telling you guys about. Well, not my YouTube channel, but I have a YouTube playlist that has nothing but local music. Anyway, so the first song that we're going to play for all of our wonderful listeners here that listen to the Unsigned and Unhinged Meltdown, which I just found out by my last before I did my last show that I actually have somebody that listens to shows regularly that's not in a band. Which I was like, oh my gosh, yay, I have a real fan. that's just not in a band. Yeah, I had it. My ex-girlfriend never even listened to a show. Oh, God. I'm like, wow, thanks. I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears in this. And you can't even spend like 5 minutes to listen to a little bit of the show? My God, how dare you? Anyway, so the first song that we're going to play, which, you know, as I was talking about with everybody earlier, I made a mix-up. So the first song does have an and sign in it, but it's not the song that I originally told everybody. So the first song we're going to play is Indecisions and Distractions, which, dude, it's just, oh man, it's got that like really heavy, I'm going to kick your face type vibe to it, where it's like, it's on my workout mix, because I'm going to be hitting the gym here really soon. So it's like one of those songs I have on my workout mix, so you guys can like boost your ego, be like, hey, I'm helping this guy pump iron. Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
So you do it for all of us.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this huge spare tire that I'm trying to get rid of. It happens. It happens. I'm like 120 months pregnant. The bee just doesn't want to come. I'm like, are you going to come out or what, dude? Come on.
Do you have a name picked out? I mean, that's ample time to have the perfect name picked out.
Well, you know, for a long time, it was a boy. I was going to name it Cena because, you know, I'm really obsessed with wrestling. But now that I'm like done past the Cena stage in my life, I'm thinking I'm just going to call him Dean. But if it's a girl, I'm definitely calling her Bailey. Because that's my wife, you know. And
I was not expecting a real answer. That's awesome.
I was making that up on the spot, okay? You know, being 120-month pregnant joke, I kind of like got to go up with something there. But anyway, so talking about Indecisions and Distractions, like what's the meaning behind that song? How did the writing process work? And like, yeah, let's just get some like detailed information from you.
That's a great question. I think like it was kind of just pieced together part by part, and there were a couple versions of it, and it didn't really settle into what it is now until we recorded it with Brian, and then it felt like natural on how you hear it now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Originally, because we had gone down from a 4-piece to a 3-piece, and the amount of songs that we had were based around being a 4-piece, and we're kind of dependent on having 2 guitars. And after that, our set list kind of came down to like half the amount of songs that we could play with just 1 guitar and still pull it off. And we had that idea kind of bouncing around, and the working title of it was Set Ender because we played it last, and rightfully so. It's a long song. It'll take you somewhere, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it was written more out of like necessity versus inspiration, which isn't the norm, I guess, but.
We really need to have a song, guys. Quick, just write something. Put something on paper.
Yeah. Quick,
and here comes Travis. I went to the grocery store and I took a shit. Yeah, we can work with that. Put that in the lyrics. Seriously, it'll work.
I don't think you say right what you know.
The more you know. Do, 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 do. All right. So, you know, it was just a necessity song that they felt was a necessity to have, which let me just tell you, dude, this song is awesome. It is a long song, but it's not as long as 2112, so you got that working for you, which is one of the greatest albums of all time. Wink, wink. Anyway, so guys, check it out for you. This is the second CD, which you guys can find on iTunes, Spotify. I believe it's floating around on YouTube. So check it out. This is Indecisions and Distractions. Oh yeah, I got my mics, and I think Jamie's got some PBR going for him. At least that's what it looks like.
Yes, pleasure and courtesy of Brian. Brian, it's usually our brand of choice.
Yes, it is.
See, when I drank beer, I was a High Life guy.
Right on.
But I also like the microbrews. Like, I was really big into Goose Island.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked Matilda and Sophie. Like, those are my 2 favorite beers. But you can't just go to a bar and be like, hey, man, give me a Sophie. And they're going to be like, you whore! Whack! Oh, man. And then you realize the other bartender's name was Sophie, and I feel really bad. But anyway, yeah, Sophie gives great head. Whack! Oh, God! Oh, man. I didn't mean the bartender! Oh, man. Anyway, moving right along. So, I mean, how long have you guys been together? Like, when did the band start? Like, what year did you guys actually, like, form?
That's always a tricky question because we ourselves can't remember. I know Jamie and Caleb. I mean, if you want to talk about the very beginning, started getting a drummer down here like probably at the end of 2012. But Sweetalk probably really didn't come into existence. Kind of the version or kind of the history that we know. I don't know, 2013. Brian's been with us since early last spring, so we've been jamming with Brian for a year and a half now. But collectively, I don't know, going on 4 years, I guess. Is that fair to say? I don't know.
I don't know.
4 years with a little bit of downtime because we couldn't find the right guy until we played with Brian.
Yeah.
And it was crazy timing because his band, which had been together for 12 years, had just so happened to be calling it a day when we were in need of a drummer. And we had played with the Dark Inside quite a bit, just like here in the Valley in Appleton. And we always really liked playing with them because they were a lot like we are now. Like, they're kind of an oddball in the scene in that, like, you know, a lot of metal bands didn't think they were heavy enough, and a lot of rock and roll bands thought they were too heavy. So that, you know, you kind of get lost in the mix, and sometimes, you know, when you see a band like that, you're like, oh, hey, you know, even though you don't play the exact same kind of music, you still gravitate towards those people because they're trying to do something different.
Yeah. Now,
bands just wanted good songs.
Yeah.
Regardless of what.
It didn't matter. We don't have a gimmick. You know, we don't go up there and, you know, and try and do anything but play the music. You know, and enjoy it, and hopefully people listening enjoy it too. Just in the same vein same avenue that we do.
Well, I enjoy it.
I'm glad you do, man.
I really do. And honestly, like I've told you before, like, I'm actually starting to promote concerts now, and I got 2 that are coming up. So maybe I can get you guys down here for a show. I'm really hoping, because I would love to actually see you guys play live. Just saying. Like,
yeah, that would be great. We would love to.
I love jamming to the music, but like playing the music on CD, but actually seeing it live, those are 2 different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to think we do it better live.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands are better live, unless they're like AC/DC. Then it just sounds the same live or on CD. I'm just saying, it sounds like, oh, they're live. Wait a minute, am I listening to a CD?
It looks like they're just playing the CD.
Yeah, exactly.
They may not even be plugged in. It's kind of like Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley and Kiss.
You got a Milli Vanilli thing going on. Well, you're too young. You don't know who Milli Vanilli is. You just turned 21.
Oh, that hurts. Doesn't know who Milli Vanilli is.
We're going to have to play Milli Vanilli for you later on. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll give up one of our song spots for Milli Vanilli.
Yeah. History is important.
History is important. I'm so glad that this young lady had moved in with us, because I'm really wearing off on her. Like, she's getting into all of the good music now because of me. But that's good. That's good.
Speaking of music, I have a question to ask that you don't have written down.
Well, we will get to it. You gotta wait till we get to, because I know what you're gonna talk about. So we're gonna play that in a later.
No, that's actually not the question I was referring to.
Okay.
Something else, but
So, like, in the times that you guys have been playing, what are some of the more memorable venues that you guys have actually had a chance to play at?
Yeah, great question. Well, in lacrosse, there's an all-ages venue called the Warehouse. We haven't played there yet with Brian, but we really, really like that place. It's a great chance to play with national acts. It has an amazing atmosphere. We love what Steve, the owner, is doing there, trying to bring all-ages shows, original shows. And you also remember the Warehouse because you have to load in literally up 3 flights of stairs. It's brutal.
Great.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal, but we love the Warehouse. The Warehouse is cool. That's one of my favorites. I don't know about you guys.
I'd have to say the Q&Z Expo Center.
Q&Z is great.
That was a great show. Great sound system, nice people.
You know,
Yeah. It was a really unsuspecting thing too because it's in I don't know if you've ever heard. It's in this place called Ringle, Wisconsin, which is like it's near Wausau, but
Farm field.
yeah, on our way out there, we're like, Jesus, we gotta be lost. Like, there's no way. There's this, beforehand you look at the venue and see if there's like pictures or something to look at, just so you can see what you're getting yourself into. And like, on the way out there, there's no way in my mind that like we were gonna find this venue in the middle of the country, like a very.
There's literally nothing around us.
Yeah, there's just there's nothing.
I think I might have actually drove through that town because, like I had told you, my dad lives up in Rhinelander.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm making that journey up there, I'm like, dude, where the hell are we? And then I'll stop. Like, I don't know how many times. Like the first time I went up there and drove up there, we stopped somewhere, and I don't remember what it was, but they had a huge at a gas station we were at, they had mountains of cheese curds all through the gas station. I'm like, well, we know we're in Wisconsin at least. But there was this huge, gigantic cow or bull that was outside the gas station. And I'm like, dude, I want to climb on that thing. And here I am trying to climb on top of this thing.
I'm sure that's a regular problem for them. They have to go out there and they're like, sir, please get off the bull. It's not a toy.
It's not a toy. Just please stop it, okay? Oh, man.
But, I mean, they're kind of asking for it, putting a huge bull outside of their gas station.
Yeah.
Especially in an area where there isn't much to do. You're kind of asking for a little bit of activity around that bull.
Yeah. But not that kind of bull. Anyway. So, I mean, we've talked about Hammersteins, but what are some of the other more memorable bands that you guys actually had a chance to play with?
Jeez.
Man,
Does it even exist anymore?
Yeah, that's the hard thing is we play with really good bands, and then we went through a streak where we would play with the band and it would be their last show, or we would play at a venue and it would be the last show at that venue. And it was kind of like a little, I don't know, we dubbed it a little bit of a curse, but there's, in town here we play with this band called Sons of Kong. We play with a band called Iron Price a lot. They're from Appleton. They've definitely got their own things going on.
Yeah. There's a notable venue that's in the area here that primarily they were known for doing 18-plus shows. Mm-hmm. And someone had told me, I'm like, dude, I want to try and book an 18-plus show because there's a lot of 18-year-olds that were messaging me on the Facebook page for the podcast saying, hey, can you get an 18-plus show? And I'm like, okay. And the one notable one, which was the Metal Grill that was out in Cudahy, just closed their doors as of Friday. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
I think a little bit of every local musician and even the touring bands that probably heard a little bit of their soul died when they saw some of that.
Yeah.
Those headlines.
That was kind of upsetting from what I mean, I've never been there, so I couldn't I couldn't say that, but that was kind of a landmark from what a lot of people have told me.
It was a cool place, a really good place that you could see shows, and it was cool that they did all ages because it's obviously also a bar. I saw a national band. I saw Norma Jean there, Night Versus, a couple years ago. Yeah,
Great show.
It was a great show. It was a really comfortable, clean venue. So it's an absolute bummer that we and Sweetalk has never actually played there. We know several friends who have, but I saw a show there and it was great. So it's a huge blow. Hopefully someone can get it up and running again, or we can get another venue to kind of come in and do what they were doing, because the scene, or even the state of Wisconsin, if you will, we need places like that. So huge blow.
The local music scene, like in the West, like not just saying Wisconsin, but the Midwest in general, and I'm mainly speaking like Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, maybe Michigan. I haven't heard much from Michigan, but those 3 states, from what I've heard from other bands that have came to this area, they're like, holy hell, from any place that we have bid, like, your fans in this area are just nuts. Like, they listen to the music, they get into the show, and I'm like, I know, like, just the music scene here in general is just insane. There's just so much talent that's in the Midwest.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of bands that we've come across and played with too that I still feel not many people have heard of. I guess mainly because we started out, and we still do play some shows that are with more underground bands. Like there's a band from like the Chicago area called Owler. I think they're called Elderlight now. And there was a band from Minneapolis called Remo Drive. Kind of pop punkish, but they were incredible. I mean, we played a show in a basement with them, and it was incredible just to see how good they were in a basement, literally a basement.
We played in a basement.
Yeah.
I know there's like a few. There is one show that happens every year here in the Kenosha area, and there's a band that used to be called. They're not really too much together anymore, but they were called 38 Double D. What a great name for a band, 38 Double D. Anyway, so they do every year. They do a show in this guy's backyard, and I'll have like 5-6 bands that come and they play in the backyard. And I've been there twice now, and let me just tell you, it's fun as hell. And be like, where are you gonna go? I'm going to 38 Double D Fest, and guys are just like, dude, I want to go. I'm like, no, not that. I'm like, trust me, if it was that, I would have already invited you. Anyway, so being as like local bands don't get a chance to do most national acts do, like talking about playing on different stages and such. Do you guys prefer playing on like a larger stage, or do you guys prefer like a smaller stage, like a smaller venue where you can be more intimate with the crowd?
We're bigger people in general, so I prefer the direct ratio of a venue.
I think for me, it doesn't make 2 shits of a difference. We'd kill it no matter where we go.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, he's behind the drum the whole time, so he doesn't get to see anything anyway.
Right? My space is always the same size.
And how are they going to fix that? Put the drum in the crowd?
Yep.
Put the drum... Kaylee says you have to put the drum set in the crowd.
Done.
Done.
I've seen a lot of weird things. I mean, I've seen Beartooth give an autograph session in the Circle Pit, so we can put the drums in the middle of the crowd. I'm down.
I've definitely been.
Wasn't it Tommy Lee that had his drum set in a bubble that played above the crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In a G string.
Yeah, it went upside down, too, right?
Yeah. I was like, oh, my gosh. Anyway.
I mean, I think that both places definitely have their advantages and disadvantages, I mean, playing in a bigger venue definitely has its own built-in excitement to it, just because you're playing a bigger venue, ideally with better bands possibly, and there's probably other factors that are in it too, but those smaller rooms are great too because it seems like the amount of energy that you still pack in the band, it's like amplified in a smaller room because the people that you play in front of are literally like a few feet away from you. Like you could breathe on them if you wanted to.
Yeah. So
the whole dynamic.
Yeah. The next song that we're gonna play, I believe, this was off your first CD, which was called "Moment," and the song's called "Moments of Clarity." Now, what was the writing process with this song for you guys?
A lot of the songs on that first album were really like when they were brought to the band, they were pretty much complete as they were musically, and everybody just kind of wrote to that part. Nothing really got changed around, and now I think our process is a little bit different, and I think for the better because we really try to stretch the limits and the boundaries of ideas just to see what works and what doesn't, and hopefully the idea still survives, and if it doesn't, we'll come up with something else.
I don't know, for this being a 2-minute song, I just remember when we were initially writing it, it took us a long time to learn this song, actually, because at first, and we changed some of the rhythms here and there within it because it was a little more tricky, I guess. But then we kind of, I guess, for lack of a better term, we just simplified it. But considering that it's pretty straight up, it took us a few weeks to kind of get our heads around it, and then it became what it was recorded.
It sounds ass backward, but simple as a skill.
It's bass backwards,
It is, yeah, absolutely.
But it's bass backwards.
It's very easy to overlook just doing the simple thing when you're writing music. Like you want to write something great, so it has to be super complicated, and that's
definitely one of the hardest easy songs I've ever had to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, look at "Stairway to Heaven." Look how easy that song is. I'm just saying. The song's not that hard to play, at least from what a lot of people have told me. I don't know. I highly doubt that it says that backwards. Kaylee's still convinced that if you play Stairway to Heaven backwards. Okay, she says she heard it backwards, saying something like 666. Ride with the devil 666, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Isn't that the Beatles number 9? If you play that backwards.
Okay, calm down. Oh yeah, Beatles number 9 I've never heard backwards, but the only funny thing I've ever heard with music being played backwards was when I watched Little Nicky and they were playing The Carpenters backwards.
Little Nicky.
That movie was hysterical.
I always forget about that Adam Sandler movie.
That movie was great. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's good.
And did you ever notice, like, whenever he does a movie, it's like the same, like, 8 or 9 people that are in that movie somehow?
To this day, I think it's still like that.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, check out the short songs was mentioned, because it's like, what, like 2 minutes, 3 seconds, something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. So check it out. This is out their first CD. This is Moments of Clarity. Check it out. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that 2 minutes of blissful music. It was blissful. I think it's blissful, but I have a different meaning of blissful than most people. Like I know, like people are like, oh yeah, I like to listen to Beethoven because it makes me relax. I was like, dude, I like listening to like Megadeth and Metallica because it makes me relax. They're like, oh, how can that make you relax? I'm like, dude, it's so peaceful. I'm like,
You know, it's funny you say that because last night after the gig, we were just kind of hanging out. Yeah, we were talking about this, that like on the radio the other day, I heard that the scientists have done a study with that listening to heavier music and sad music actually makes you feel better. Which is completely, bass backwards, as you said before.
Bass backwards. I like bass backwards. It's like a great word.
Yeah, like classical music actually makes me feel depressed.
That's kind of what he was just talking about. Yeah, so you can't hear what's being said, but kudos to Kaylee. She said the same exact thing that you just said.
But it's doing what music should do. It puts you in some kind of a mood,
Like
Sometimes you listen to music pertaining to the mood that you're in, and sometimes you listen to music to get into a different mood.
Exactly. Like, I know, gosh, I'm trying to think of the song, Mudvayne, Happy. Like, everyone's like, oh, gosh, that song is so angry, and I'm like, dude, this song is just, like, it gets me geeked up. Like, I want to do something. Let's do it. And they're like, oh, man, but it's so angry. I'm like, dude, let's go play some football.
I agree. I know what you mean, though, because I love Mudvayne's, like, first 3 albums. And I get the same thing. That music jacks me up, gets me inspired, not I don't know, not upset. I go the other way. I feel good when I listen to Mudvayne. Their first 3 albums. If I listen to the last couple, then I get mad.
See, now that's me with Linkin Park. Like, I was a huge Linkin Park fan. Now, their first, 3 albums, oh, yeah, dude, I get jacked up. I want to do something. Everything after that, it's like, I want to do something like kind of what Courtney Love did to Kurt Cobain. Oh, yeah, I said it. Kurt Cobain did not do it. It was Courtney Love. Come after me and sue me, Courtney. I'm pretty sure you actually did it. I don't care. All right, so now if you guys could actually go on tour with any band, whether they're alive, dead, or broken up, who would you guys want to go on tour with?
Oh, you're throwing the dead ones in there, too. Oh, man.
Are you talking personally or like?
Yeah, like you personally.
As a band?
Like you personally, who would you want to be on tour with?
Jeez, man, I there's a couple, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't even have to play. I would be dude's roadie. I have kind of like an affinity for Jeff Buckley. He's dead, but I mean, I would just love to be around that every night of the tour, just to be able to watch that guy's set. That would be unreal.
Yeah, I'd kill to tour with Thrice, the Beatles, if that were all possible. I love to do it old school, get in those cars and do it the way like Johnny Cash and Elvis and those guys did it back then. Love to tour with those guys the way that they did it. Selfishly, one of my favorite bands from high school is coming back, the Juliana Theory. Wouldn't mind doing shows for them. I don't know. How about you, Brian?
I would just like to be on tour. I wouldn't really care.
Hey, I'm on tour with Thrice and Johnny Cash and the Beatles and
Wake up
Jeff
early.
Buckley. Hey, what's up? It's Sweetalk Fest. Yay!
If you were asking as a band who I would really love us to go on tour with, I think it would be somebody like Thrice. We really love Thrice and Circus Survive. Both of those bands are huge, like idols to us.
I don't know. There's too many bands out there. I mean,
and selfishly, like personally too, I think that all 3 of us could watch either of those bands' sets every single night and never get sick of it. Never.
No. Yeah.
Even if it was the same set night after night, I think we would love every second of it.
Yeah. That was me when I went and saw Rush on tour. I went and saw Rush like 3 times on their Test for Echo tour. It was the same set all 3 times. because it was like 3 nights in a row almost, and I was just like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah.
At that time I was 17, and the band was probably in their 40s or 50s, and I'm like, dude, are they ever even going to go on tour again? Probably not, and I'm going to sit there and watch them as much as I can, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
That and Bad Religion, like those 2 bands, I would never get tired of watching those bands play.
The blast from the past.
Oh man! So here's one for you guys to each answer individually. What was the first concert you've ever been to?
Mine was New Bomb Turks.
Where was this?
It was at the Concert Cafe, which is now a parking lot.
Hey kids, I saw my first concert right there in that parking lot.
Pretty much.
As he's riding in his hover round, they're like, "Hey there, Sonny, I saw a concert right there." Yeah, Grandpa, sure thing.
Pretty much.
You young whippersnapper, I'll get you with my help!
Grandpa's
I'm falling and I can't reach my beer. Oh gosh, I remember those commercials. Anyway, so, all right, yeah, we stopped with Brad and his hover round experience looking at a parking lot. Jamie, what was your first concert you ever been to?
I think it kind of depends because I don't know. I guess what you define as concert, because my dad was in bands, and one time when I was probably in 3rd grade, my mom brought me in a car, and my dad was playing outside, so we were able to drive by and just kind of park on the other side of the street of where he was playing, and we got to watch him for a little while. And I think that was the moment where I was like, I think that's what I want to do. But I mean, if you're defining it as like a touring band, I saw this band called Hours at the Rave when I was in like 6th grade. They opened for the Wallflowers, which is like the weirdest combination, but great show nonetheless.
But he is one of the greatest guitar players, but he learned it from his dad. I'm just saying. I'm just saying his dad taught him everything he knows. Anyway, Travis, you want to chime in on this?
Oh, yeah. I guess it depends on what you define as concert, but my very first concert I ever saw was like December of 1991, and I saw like this contemporary Christian artist called Stephen Curtis Chapman. And he was on his tour for his album More to This Life, and as a young kid, I listened to that album on cassette over and over again. So my mom and my dad, we went to Eau Claire, and we saw Stephen Curtis Chapman at this high school when I was like 6 or 7. But then my first real rock show didn't happen until like I was in 6th or 7th grade, and it was at this youth center in Medford, Wisconsin. And it was again a bunch of Christian bands. I saw the Insiders, they were a ska band, Fold Zandira, and and Plank Eye. But interestingly enough, the first band that opened that night was Chevelle. And they were unsigned at the time, and no one had heard or seen them. And their first album, Point Number 1, hadn't even come out, and they had just gotten signed to Squint Records, and that was my first rock show. It was a really, really early indie Chevelle show, and that was incredibly memorable.
Wow. Here's one for you. I got to see Disturbed on their CD release show.
Whoa, for The Sickness?
Yes, I was going to school at Gateway, and we were getting tickets for they were handing out tickets for the CD release party for Disturbed. For it was The Sickness. That was the CD that just came out, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I'll go. And I got to meet Dave Drenham, and he, at that time, I don't know how he is now, because, I mean, you know how when people get famous, 9 times out of 10, they grow an ego and think that they're better than everybody. But he was really, really cool. He was a great guy. He cut a promo for me when I was doing the radio show at college, so
Oh,
Nice.
That was pretty awesome. I highly doubt he probably remembers that. But hey, I remember you. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, like he's gonna listen to this show. Anyway, now we already kind of got into this question. Jamie kind of answered it when he was talking about Jeff Buckley and everything. But what are some of your inspirations that have inspired you guys?
That's I don't know. It's kind of I guess I'd have to reply with a question to you as like how you mean individually or like as a band?
Yeah, I mean like individually, like whether it be like with you, or like oh yeah, Jeff Buckley, or someone could be like, well, my mom and my dad inspired me, or whatever. Like what made you who you are as a musician?
Oh well, I don't know. For me, it started with my parents. Mom and dad had me playing piano at a young age. I quit when I was in 6th grade. Can't play a lick anymore. But I played trumpet from 6th grade till a senior in high school. Picked up the bass when I was in 8th grade. My mom encouraged me to do that, actually, because our church needed a bass player for the worship band, and we needed a bass player for the pep band at high school. So my mom was instrumental in getting me getting a bass in my hands and learning how to play the bass. My dad was huge in supporting music for my friends and I. He drove us around to shows. He financially helped us out. He was encouraging, gave us a spot to practice. So my family's a huge influence. I mean, I'm influenced by, obviously, other musicians and music. Reliant K is one of my favorite bands. I love the Juliana Theory, like I mentioned. Imogen Heap's one of my favorites. I'm also inspired by books and movies. I mean, George Lucas is a massive creative inspiration. Martin Scorsese, any of his movies. So I could go on and on talking about the things that inspire me. I don't know.
Jeez.
Well, at least he didn't mention Michael Bay. I mean,
Michael Bay is garbage. Michael Bay is the cinematic equivalent of Nickelback. Somehow everyone sees these movies, his movies make money, but no one wants to admit that they're fans. So Michael Bay is the Nickelback of movies. Michael Bay sucks.
I'm gonna admit this. Like, okay, there is what movie was it that he did? There was when the first Transformers movie came out, the very very first one, and I believe he directed all of them. And I was like, dude, it's Transformers. It's part of my childhood. I really, 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 really want to go, but at the same time, I was like, oh god, Michael Bay's doing it. And yeah, I ended up going, but because
I feel like with the Transformers movies, the way that he done them, one would have been suffice.
Exactly.
But just and now they got Mark Wahlberg, who's basically just going around yelling at people like every other movie he's in.
That's because you haven't seen The Departed.
Give a shout out to Marky
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Funky Bunch.
God, I remember that CD back in the day. Woo!
Jams.
Yeah. Man, that was I think that was one of the first albums I ever owned, I think. Yeah. Like back in the day, now we have 95 Wilbrock in Kenosha, but it used to be Power 95, and it was like the equivalent to Kiss FM.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the first album I ever had was New Kids on the Block. But
oh my god.
Hey, it was a fad, and the chicks were loving it, so guess what? I was loving it. It was like, oh yeah.
I've rocked out to plenty of crap like that. I mean, Kids on the Block, New Kids on the Block. I mean, Crisscross, Vanilla Ice, all that shit.
Crisscross.
Yeah, dude. Ace of Base, all that shit. On cassette tapes too. A boombox. That was the shit.
MC Hammer, man, you can't touch this.
Oh, MC Hammer. I actually saw MC Hammer live. Fairly recently, within the last 15 years, recent for me.
This podcast is probably incredibly revealing to you and also me and Brian.
Yeah, we're learning a lot here.
Yeah, man. Gosh. Man, I gotta say, when I was Vanilla Ice back in the day, I mean, Fee, that was oh, yeah, it was for me, it was oh, look, it's someone's actually taking hip hop to a new level. Because to me, it was like, oh shit, rap's going mainstream. Because I was growing up where I was like, my cousin was really into rap. And he got me into NWA and Two Live Crew and Public Enemy. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer on MTV. And I'm like, wow, look, rap's actually getting played on TV. I'm like, dude, I wish they would play Fuck the Police on here. Yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, as I grew older, I'm sitting there, listening to Fuck the Police, and I get older, and I'm listening. It's like, dude, if you played that song on the radio, this is what you would hear. Beep! Oh, yeah, beep! Beep! Beep, beep, beep! Yeah, hey, I gotta go there. Oh man, but that album was a classic, one of the greatest albums of all time.
NWA or Vanilla Ice?
No, NWA Straight Outta Compton, one of the greatest albums of all time. Vanilla Ice, now To the Extreme was groundbreaking. It really was, because like Straight Outta Compton was groundbreaking, but To the Extreme is groundbreaking as it took rap to a different level than it wasn't already at before. Like, I don't know how to explain it, where, like, Straight Outta Compton was groundbreaking for hip-hop and rap in general, but To the Extreme was, like, groundbreaking in a different level than Straight Outta Compton was, if you understand what I'm saying.
A little bit. I gotta be honest. I'm more familiar with Straight Outta Compton than I'm any other one. So.
Well, I listened to Ice Ice Baby. This was back in the day, like when you were a kid and you bought a tape and you're like, oh yeah, listen to the one song, play rewind, rewind.
Yeah.
And now then they came out with CDs, and it's just like, oh, I can just put it on repeat.
Yeah, when I discovered compact disc, I was like, this is amazing. No more rewinding, and you can just skip. That was pretty awesome.
And now we have MP3 players and iPods.
Which I hate, so.
Well, I have everything digitally, so I listen on my computer or my MP3 player. Because, I have my CD collection, and it just takes up space, so I got rid of all of my CDs. And I have, like, right now, I have 31 CDs that are signed by local bands, and that's all I have. That's like my collection of CDs that's just like collection, and it sits by my computer. But other than that, I don't have, like, any, like, physical hard CDs anymore.
You don't have any vinyl?
No, I do have, okay, I did have a vinyl, but when I was moving, my ex broke it, and I was really upset. I had 2112 on vinyl.
Oh.
And I had Fly By Night on vinyl. And I didn't have a record player, but I had them as just like collector items for myself.
It's just like Travis. Travis has got like, how many?
Me closer to 30 vinyl. No record player.
Yeah. Dude has a great collection of vinyl, but no way to listen to them.
I also have Hemispheres, and I believe it was Moving Pictures, or maybe it was, it was Moving Pictures. I have Hemispheres and Moving Pictures on 8-track.
On, wait, 8-track?
8-track.
Took me a second to catch up to that.
I was like, wait, 8-track? What? Those laugh, and some need an explanation. If you need an explanation, you're too young.
Yeah.
So we're actually getting to the portion now where Kaylee's gonna get excited, because everybody knows, like, I can play videos now, and it's really exciting. And I'm gonna play the video for your guys' song "Animal." Which, do you guys say "animal" or is it "animal"?
The song title is "Animal," but the lyric is "Animal."
Okay, gotcha. So "Animal," but it's "Animal." Okay.
Yeah.
And Kaylee, she's got like this huge shit face grin on her face right now because she's excited. Kaylee, I'll play it for you after the show. Okay, I promise. You're not gonna be able to see it right now. but the first time I was talking about you guys to Haley, and I was like, oh yeah, but you got to check out the video because, like, dude, I'm old school. If there's a video, I like to see a video. You know what I mean? Rather than just, yeah. So I'm playing the video, and Kaylee goes, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, "What is that?" And then she's like, "No, what's that?" And I was like, "What's what?" She goes, "Are they advertising 50 Shades of Grey Barbie?" And I sat there, and I had to I restarted the video, and I had to watch, and I said, one could draw that conclusion that 50 Shades of Grey Barbie is in the video. And Kaylee is laughing hysterically because she loves watching this video. Which I'm pretty sure you guys had just as much fun time as making 50 Shades of Grey Barbie as she loves watching it.
Yeah, but anyway, what's the symbolism for 50 Shades of Grey Barbie?
The symbolism. Oh, I gotta be honest. We coordinated with a good friend of mine, Lucky Cha. He's the guy who helped us make that video. A lot of that was his concept. To be perfectly honest, he listened to the song, he heard it, and he came up with this idea. He originally wanted to use real actors, but we just didn't have time or really the budget to do that. So we let's just do it with dolls. And he wanted to get this idea of someone who's trapped in a relationship trying to get out, and that's kind of the general idea of it. So
yeah,
we had no intention of going for the 50 Shades of Grey comparison, but that's what you got. Great, that's awesome.
It was 50 Shades of Grey Barbie, and she got fed up with it. And I told her as we were watching the video, I said, "Look, 50 Shades of Grey Barbie turned into Harley Quinn Barbie."
Yes.
And it was like, okay, but the song's great.
Yeah.
And when I had talked with Jamie for the first time, and now that I'll bring it up because this was my first introduction to you guys, was actually listening to that video. I was like, dude, I really get this Silverchair-esque vibe from you guys when I listen to this song.
That's one of Travis's favorite bands.
I don't know. I really like Silverchair. I think there's a lot of comparisons there. So I'm happy you said that.
That first album, Frog Stomp, was
awesome.
It was one of my favorite albums of all time. It's
awesome.
It's in my top 10, and a lot of people be like, "Really?" I'm like, "That album's awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. That album is great."
I think it's pretty cool.
Considering they were all like 16, 17 when they actually wrote that album.
Yeah, they were kids. They're from Australia, correct?
Yeah, they're from Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
but yeah, really cool.
Yeah, their second CD, was okay. And their third CD was kind of out there. I liked the song Anthem for the Year 2000. That song was great. But for the rest of the CD, I didn't really vibe on it too much. And then after that, they really kind of went really political.
I lost track of them. I know Freak Show and I know Neon Ballroom, and then I lost track.
Yeah,
so.
they kind of didn't. They kind of hit away from mainstream after Neon Ballroom, and they went really, really political.
Interesting. I don't even know. Are they even a band anymore? I don't even know.
I think they're broken up now. Yeah, but they've been around for a while.
I was gonna say they had a career. I mean, I remember Frogstock came out in 95, 96, something like that.
I believe it was like 94.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because I remember that summer because I was working at Great America.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, have you guys heard Silverchair?" And they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Dude, Silverchair. You haven't heard Silverchair?" And at that point in time, for me, because I wasn't really into, because 95 Will Rock was really only playing like the classic rock. And Q101, which was based in Chicago, was playing like the alternative style of music. So they were playing like Silverchair and Offspring and Nine Inch Nails and all that stuff. And they had played Silverchair on there, and I was like, oh, these guys are awesome. And then I bought the CD, and I was like, dude, I don't like Tomorrow. The rest of the CD is so much better than Tomorrow. Don't you hate it when it happens, when a band will release a single, and then you actually listen to the album, and you like stuff a gazillion times better than the song that they put out there for you guys? I mean,
I find the opposite reaction. I think that's what the story that you just explained is more or less my typical experience with albums that I really like. Like I dig all of the songs except the single. Like the single is the one that I'm like, oh, okay, it's pretty cool. And then like I like the rest of the album so much that I resent the single. It's one of those tracks where you just skip it.
Well, I remember now this is no, that's not dating myself because it wasn't that long ago. But I remember back in 2000, towards the end of the year 2000, I want to say it was October, November. I was listening to the radio on my way home. I was listening to JJO because I had a girl that I was dating that lived up in Madison. So JJO was a killer radio station. They played all the good stuff, which made me, I found a lot of great bands from there, like Guano Apes, H Block X. Got introduced to Seven Dust But anyway, I'm tangenting, going on a huge tangent. But there was a band, Linkin Park, which was like one of my favorite bands of all time. They played the song One Step Closer on JJO. And I thought, this song is great. I love this song. And then I was trying to find the CD. Bought the CD when it finally came out in like December of that year. And was playing the hell out of it. And my best friend was like, dude, the CD isn't that great. And when I was listening to the CD, I thought, in my own personal opinion, I liked In the End. I was like, dude, this song is great. I love this song. And then as I'm listening to the CD and then not listening to the radio as much as I used to, a friend of mine goes, oh, dude, Linkin Park's all over the radio now. And then I listen to the radio and I'm like, dude, I just heard Linkin Park on Kiss FM. They're not cool anymore once you're on Kiss FM. And like then my friend that said, oh, these guys aren't that great, now was like, oh, dude, they're awesome. I'm like, dude, I told you the day I bought the CD, these guys were going to be one of the biggest bands ever. And this album was going to be insane. And you said I was high. And dude, it was like the biggest selling album of 2001. Who's high now?
Yeah, that album was huge. Hybrid Theory, right?
Hybrid Theory. That was like one of the greatest albums of all time.
It was a monumental one. I remember I'm only 5'2" and whatever, small dude, but I remember lifting weights in high school to that album religiously. I got jammed up to that. It was awesome.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
I think that album, like, song quality aside, like sonically is like still like a standard to this day, like recording and mixing wise too. Like the way it sounds is still like a reference for a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think they were honestly like the first band that really brought the rap rock vibe. Like Limp Bizkit did it, Korn did it, but I think Linkin Park perfected it on Hybrid Theory. That I think that was perfection compared to Limp Bizkit and Korn, which we're trying to do.
Because they still have melodies, you know what I mean? They still have something that you can walk away from the song with, and remember the song by.
Yeah.
You know.
And we went on a tangent again, but that's okay because, like Jamie said, it's a podcast. We can do whatever we want to do. But so we're going to play the song Animal, which Kaylee likes to refer to as the 50 Shades of Grey Barbie video.
Speaking of which, is that available at Toys R Us?
Oh, I don't know yet. She wants to know if 50 Shades of Grey Barbie is available at Toys R Us yet.
Yeah, that's a good merch idea.
You guys should start selling that at shows.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, look, 50 Shades of Grey Barbie. You too can own this. $50.
We're going to get on that. We're going to get our marketing team behind that. We're going to get our team of lawyers and see what we can do here.
Kaylee, you just started a marketing for them. I'll be your lawyer. You got to get a percentage of this. It was your idea. All right. So, guys, check out 50 Shades of Grey Barbie. Animal. Which you guys can get it on iTunes, not the video or 50 Shades of Grey Barbie, but you can get the song on iTunes, which is off their second EP. So check it out. This is the video for Animal.
Someone gives you desire. Let me save you the time.
Now, for the viewers that got to see the video, I want to know, do you think that that's 50 Shades of Grey Barbie, or is Kaylee just, like, delusional? I don't know. But let us know in the comments. I mean, not many people have commented on videos yet. What's wrong with you? Oh, gosh, man. I need more subscribers, too. Like, my goodness. I got like 14 subscribers on YouTube. But I got like almost 1,000 likes on Facebook.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good,
so
man.
We're doing good. We're doing good. So anyway, I mean we've talked about so much garbage, so much stuff about the band Sweetalk here. Woo, which is good because you know what? Honestly, I like these guys. They're awesome. They're not.
We've only spent an hour and 20 minutes with each other, so just give it some time.
Give it some time. We'll grow on you, and you'll be like, dude, these guys. Tell him to get in his hover round and get out of here. All right, Sonny, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, man, he's going to hate me by the end of the time this show is over. Keep going to those hover round jokes, man. Whew. It's all good. It's all good, though. So, anyway, now you guys, I mean, it's a huge tool. Everybody uses it now. But how do you guys feel that social media affects the local music scene?
Oh. You're kind of speaking to the wrong dudes about social media. I mean, we acknowledge the fact that it's like a necessity. You know, it's in a non-glamorous way to look at it. It's free advertising per se, and it's a way to actually reach out to people. But oh man, dude, it is for us, and it's purely personal. It feels like a chore.
How do you stand out when you're one of 1 billion?
Yeah, I mean everybody's doing basically the same thing, you know. And even if you make a post, if you have 1,000 likes that like your on your page, doesn't mean all of them are going to see your post, which is totally whacked, in my opinion.
Exactly. Because especially, like, if you yourself, Jamie, are sharing something on Facebook, and you got someone that's got, like, 2,000, 3,000 friends, what's the odds of someone that's got that many friends seeing the one post that you make?
Right. Right, exactly. There's just a lot of, you know, social media is great for a lot of things, but it puzzles me personally in a lot of ways. But I don't know.
It seems like it's only effective if you're successful already.
Yeah, there's so many numbers, but for if you're not already established, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. You know, it's hard to decipher it anyway.
Well, I think you guys are established, so let's just leave it like that. I said they're established. My view counts.
Take it.
I will absolutely take that.
Sounds like you got someone jamming out there near you guys.
Yeah, we as you can see from the video feed, we built a studio below a guitar shop in Green Bay, and that's where we recorded Mutiny and mixed it too. And it only left this basement when it went to go get mastered at a place in Milwaukee called Mystery Room Mastering.
I don't know if you guys can hear that guitar jamming, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, we can definitely hear it.
Well, I'm talking about the guys that are listening. Yeah. I'm talking about the people that are listening to the show. I don't know if you can, I know you guys can hear it if I can hear it.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, you guys, I know you guys are on Facebook because I've liked you guys on Facebook and I follow you guys on there. I know you guys got something going on YouTube, but haven't done, too much beyond that with you guys. Do you guys have like a Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff as well?
Yeah, all that business. Bandcamp.
Yep.
You got the Bandcamp. I know that.
Yeah, Bandcamp, Twitter, Instagram. We're on the big ones, so to speak. I know they're coming up with new social media every day, but Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that keeps us busy enough. And to be perfectly honest, we're pretty poor at it already, so we don't need to add another in the mix. We need to get better at what we're doing already.
And the best thing too is still going to a show and like actually meeting somebody. And I mean, you don't have to
That's where we get 99% of our fans.
Yeah.
Performing.
That's where you get the real interaction. I mean, social media can only go so far. It's not going to present the opportunity for you to actually be there unless you're actually there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, I've never been there. I heard about you via word of mouth.
You will.
Fix that.
But you see, you heard word of mouth. See, that's in a way old school to me. That's how that happened when you were in back when 20 years ago. It was you and your friends talking about bands, getting excited about things that you read in magazines, passing around mixtapes and things like that. So word of mouth. And I understand social media can be a gateway to that, but the things that we have found with bands that we have seen, that sometimes there's so much focus on being a social media savvy band. And don't get me wrong, that counts. It counts for something. But that can't be all that you are. And that's what we don't want to be. We don't want to be just a social media band.
And there are definitely bands that you could tell excel at social media much more than other local bands. And, not to name names or anything, but like they have this social media presence that you kind of wonder, and they're from the same area that you are, and you're like, well, I never see them play out ever. But they have all this feedback online. Like, I don't know how to figure it out. And like, to be honest, I don't have a huge desire to. Like, I really just want to sit in the basement and write songs with these guys. Like, that's it.
Like,
I get out of being in a band.
I sit there and tell people all the time, you can sit there and see a video of a band playing live on YouTube. Yeah, that's great, it's dandy, but it's a totally different story when you're there live and in person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's, having that experience is a major factor in us three even wanting to be in a band, is being there and seeing it and being like, you have that moment where you're like, I got to do that. That's what I want to do.
So, I got a question in now from Kaylee. She wanted to chime her 2 cents in, so I got it here in front of me. I told her to write it down. So she says, and I quote, "What is your opinion on record labels and why?"
Man, that's a loaded question. I mean, I think it depends on what the angle is. Coming from both sides. If you're an indie band that can pull it off and sell your own stuff and support yourself, then you don't need a record label. But if you're trying to reach a larger audience that you wouldn't normally, or you don't have that kind of a reach, then that's kind of that's really the only perk in my eyes that a record label offers is, they could set you up with some kind of distribution or some kind of opportunities that you could reach new people.
Maybe the opportunity to work with a producer.
That too. That too.
I don't know if you've seen what I've been sharing, because I know Jamie, you and I are friends on Facebook, but I've been sharing this a lot because I've had American Overdose on the show from Portland, Oregon, and they are in a feud right now with OTEP, and it's been going crazy, and I've been sharing it like crazy, and I believe she even, like, they got into a Twitter war, and she was calling them anal glands and momos and all the wonderful things that she was calling them. But she had previously made a statement saying that local bands have like no business being on the same stage as her or something to that effect. And it's, well, yeah, Kaylee took the words right out of my mouth that she sounds like an egotistical bitch. And I was not aware of anything about OTEP because I don't listen to that style of music. There's so many different styles of rock out there, and her style I really don't get into, but from what Cody of American Overdose had told me is she did 4 shows, and after 4 shows, Shannon Osborne signed her and put her on the Ozfest. It's like, You never worked the grind like most local bands do, so how can you even, it's like, dude, no, shut up. You don't even know what it's like to be in a local band. You were signed after doing 4 shows. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
four shows is that's pretty.
OTEP sucks.
How do you even grasp a band to even after 4 shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know?
I know, like, and I bring him up all the time. My friend Chris from The First Rule. He plays bass in a band. He has 3 jobs, and he's a new father. Like, being in a band is hard work. Like, you're going to sit there and have a day job, and then you're going to have your family life on top of being in a band. It's like 3 jobs all in one. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, guys, bands don't get paid. Like, they really don't. They get paid off the merch that they sell. They don't get paid much at the door.
No.
Because like the show that I got coming up later this month, which, by the way, it's July 21st at Hattricks. There's a little shameless plug for me, guys. July 21st, Hattricks in Kenosha. You can see Audiophilia, Hey Captainite, Static Signal, and the Day Rollers for $5. $5 doesn't seem like much. It's a great deal to see 4 bands. But $5 is also being split between 4 bands.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now, if you have, like, I'd like to say 100 people come in, because if 100 people come in, that's $500. But then you're going to have $500 split between 4 bands.
200 of it goes to the sound guy.
Yep.
And it's just like, dude, seriously.
I think that's the most common like misconception of people that have never really been around, kind of the music scene is even at all 3 of us have experienced it at our day jobs that they find out that you're in a band and they're like, wow, cool, and then they ask you about it, and then a little time goes by and they ask you what you're doing this weekend, and you're like, well, we have a show here or there or wherever, and they're like, oh, I'm making that money, and it's
no, not really.
Yeah, I don't know that I could blame them if they've never been around it, because how would you know? But still, it's nobody makes money.
Well, I mean, hey, let's not kid ourselves. Cover bands can make money, and I think that's where that misconception comes from a little bit.
Yeah,
but see, there's a lot of bands. Now, I've heard this from a lot of bands that've been like, "Oh, you're in a band. Oh, what songs do you play?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, well, we do a lot of originals." "Oh, well, do you play this song?" There's not many like cover bands like back in like the 80s and the 90s. There was like cover bands all over the place, and that was, well, like for me, that was kind of like the cool thing. It's like, oh, it's a cover band. They're playing my favorite songs. But now it's just like, for me, it was like kind of a phase that I went through, and now it's just like, dude, every band started off as a local band. Now, if you're going to do a cover song, this is my own personal opinion, and a lot of people have agreed with me and a lot of people have not. But if you're going to do a cover song, make it your own. Make it original. There's a band from Chicago that has covered All I Do Is Win and Uptown Funk and made it a rock song. Both of them. They made them rock songs. And I'm like, I DJ'd doing karaoke at a bar, and I got sick and freaking tired of playing Uptown Funk every night. There's a girl coming up to me like, oh, can you play Uptown Funk? I just literally played it. Now, if she's wearing a really low-cut shirt and she says, can you play Uptown Funk? And she's kind of flirty with me, maybe I would. I don't know. I'm single. I can do what I want if I'm trying to get with a girl.
You gotta be careful, though. There's weirdos out there.
Dude, I've dated a lot of crazy women. It's just like I have a mic that says, crazy bitches only.
I think every group of friends has that weirdo magnet where no matter where you go, if you go together as a group in public, they attract that person. And it's always interesting to see how that interaction unfolds.
Yeah, that could tend to happen. Like, everyone has told me in our group of friends that I was the crazy lively one. That if it came down to it, I would be the one jumping on a table acting like a weirdo. Which
the true weirdos will always top you. They will always top you.
Let me tell you like this. There was a bar back in the day called Breezy's in Kenosha. And they used to have... they would do really weird contests for free drinks. And I'm a recovering alcoholic, and this is back when I was an alcoholic. I was like, wait a minute, free booze? What do I got to do? And they had a lap dance competition, and me and my guy were like, dude, fuck this. We got this. So I took off my shirt. I'm into my wife beater. I took off my belt, and I'm like grabbing him by his neck with my belt, and I'm rubbing him up against my chest, and everyone was eating that up. And I'm like, dude, it's free booze. What do you? It's like, what will you do for free booze, dude? Try me. I'm an alcoholic. I'll do whatever you want. Oh man, yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't. Let's just censor all that out so no one knows about my past. Anyway, no, we're not going to, because that's what we do around here. We just don't care. But anyway, getting into the last song that we're gonna play for you guys. I can see Jamie's trying not to laugh as he's drinking his PBR. He's like, dude, this Frankie guy. I don't know.
I'm only laughing because we're the band with the least amount of judgment out there. But I should come to a band practice sometime.
Hey, if I'm ever up visiting my dad in Rhinelander, I'm gonna stop and come visit you guys. That's all I'm saying, for real. I'm gonna be like, Dad, I'm stopping in Green Bay. Oh, I thought you hated the Packers. No, I'm gonna go visit Sweetalk. I'll see you in like a few hours, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Give it a week to be safe.
Oh yeah, I love my dad. My dad is like, oh man, me and my dad have had rough times, but let me tell you, my dad, that man's a fighter. He ever since last year, he's been battling cancer, and let me tell you, he's kicking cancer's ass. So
that's good to hear.
Cancer, you can suck it, okay? You can't beat this. My dad is a fighter, okay? As Kaylee says, he's kicking cancer right in the nutsack. Which, that happens. You never know. You never know. I don't know if cancer has nuts, but if it does, my dad's kicking it there. So, anyway.
Yeah, say, hang on. How do we know cancer's male?
Yeah, how do you know cancer is a male? Seriously, that was a very sexist comment that you just made, and you're a female. That's a very sexist comment. How do you know? What if cancer's a female? What if God is a female? You don't know these things.
Could be.
But don't you ever watch? Didn't you watch Dogma? God was Alanis Morissette. Come on now.
Oh, God, that's right.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up the God word. Things could get deep.
Things could get deep. Which, I'm a Christian, so we're not going to get really deep into that. There's two things in life you don't talk about with friends: religion and politics.
Yes.
But we all hate Donald Trump and Scott Walker because we're from Wisconsin, so it's okay. We can bash Scott Walker together. Anyway, so the last song that we're going to play for everybody, which honestly, this is my favorite song by you guys. Honestly, it's my favorite song, which is Weather the Storm. I absolutely love this song. This song has so much energy in it that when I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, it's awesome. and I like the bass riffs in here, dude. Seriously, the bass riffs in here are they're good. Yeah. Travis, you killed it, man. You killed it.
Thank you. You did a good job.
Do a good job. Do a good job. Like what's his face from Armageddon? Do a good job. Do a good job. I'm a huge movie buff, dude. I could sit there and quote movie lines like all day long. Like and stupid scenes in movies. Like like Kaylee left the room right now. So anyway, I played her Waterboy for the first time. And you remember the scene where dude sat there and threw the baseball and hit Colonel Sanders and he went, I played that for her, and she about died laughing. And I was like, dude, that's the best scene for this movie. That's the best scene. Oh God! So,
my favorite, like it's like a half-second moment in that movie where he's playing football and I can't remember which. It must have been like the offensive lineman or something, and the guy he's making fun of him from across the line, and all he says in reply is 52. 52.
Then he tosses him the football. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man. So one last question before we actually get to playing Weather the Storm, which has been known as the typical question that I ask on here, but it's fine because I'm a huge wrestling fan. Everybody knows it. Jamie probably knows it by seeing all the shit that I post on Facebook. Every other thing I post has something to do with wrestling because, damn it, I'm obsessed with wrestling. Especially because she's going to marry me. But that's besides the point. She's not really, but I can hope and pray. Actually, she's engaged, and lucky son of a bitch. Anyway.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There is a slim chance. If he screws up and cheats on her, I might have a chance. But, no, in all honesty, she's an attractive wrestler. But it's not like her looks that I like. Dude, she's amazing for the sport, what she does for the sport. She's great she's great with the fans, and that's what I like about her. It's just a bonus that she's just freaking sexy. Anyway, but if a wrestler had come to Sweetalk and said, "Hey, I want to use one of your guys' song as an entrance song," what song would you give them?
Man, I would give them a certain the middle section of Anatomically Speaking off of Mutiny. I would give them that part. It's right before the last chorus, and I would give them that song.
Okay.
That's what I would choose.
I'd give him Set Ender. Oh, that's not the real name.
So here we go. Indecisions.
Yes. I know. No, I don't.
I can't remember the name of my own song.
Still, I don't know the names.
I think for me, it would have to be the beginning of Low Octave Brother, which isn't released yet.
Yeah.
But it's super powerful.
Ooh, throwing a new one out there.
Something yet to come.
That's a good one.
Honestly, like the song that we're about to play, Weather the Storm, I can honestly see someone coming down the ramp with the pyros to this song. I can. I feel it and I see it, but that's just my opinion. So, speaking of Weather the Storm, which the song is really powerful, and I love the bass riffs. Thank you, Travis.
Anytime.
So, oh man. Anyway, like, is there a deep seated meaning behind this, or is this just like, oh look, there's a thunderstorm coming? Or are you guys watching The Never-Ending Story and we going, oh, the nothing is coming?
Oh, wow. I like your reference, but so actually, Weather the Storm was a word title, and I guess I just wrote to that as that being like an overlying theme, and it's about like blackmail and just trying to wait that out, more or less.
Sounds like a lot of my ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Blackmail. You can't break up with me because I love you. Yes, I can. It's like that obsessive ex-girlfriend. I've had girlfriends that have done that. I've had restraining orders on girlfriends.
Not to quote another movie, but there's nothing you can't walk away from in, what is it, 5 minutes? 5 seconds?
Oh, Heat?
Yeah.
Nothing you can't walk away from in under 30 seconds in your
30
life?
seconds.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It's a beautiful movie. I love that movie. De Niro, Bobby D. Anyway.
My favorite movie of all time is like, for some reason, everybody loves this movie. And it's more of a cult classic film, which was Boondock Saints. I absolutely love that movie.
Great movie. Great fucking movie. Yeah.
We're kind of like 7-Eleven. We're not always doing business, but we're always open.
A lot of good one-line stingers in there. William Dafoe is pretty amazing throughout that whole movie. So,
is it dead? Is it dead? I'll tip her. God, that movie is so great. It's like It's my favorite movie of all time. And with like if we're talking about movies, which we probably will real quick because it's my show and I can do what I want.
Absolutely.
But my top movies of all time that I can never get sick and tired of watching: Boondock Saints, Pulp Fiction, Face Off, Idiocracy.
Face Off.
Face Off, dude. I love Face Off. I love Nicolas Cage. A lot of people don't like Nicolas Cage. I like Nicolas Cage.
We just played. Well, last night we played a show, and the band that played before us had printed out pictures of like Photoshop Nick Cage faces over other pictures, and they were all over the set, like everywhere. And at one point, like one of the last songs, the dude played with a box on his head, and there was a little slit for his eyes to see out of, and on the side of it was Mona Lisa with Nick Cage, his face over it.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
we've had a lot of Nick Cage this weekend already.
Yeah, we have.
I love Nicolas Cage. I really do. A lot of people don't like him. That's fine.
He's a weird dude. He's a weird dude.
He really, really is. But I honestly really enjoy him. 90% of his movies I actually really enjoy. There are some that I don't like. Moonstruck. I don't really care for that movie.
That's not great. That's not great.
No.
Face Off is fun for what it is. I think Matchstick Men is fucking awesome.
That's a great movie as well.
I
liked Next.
Rock. The Next is okay. Like, for what it is, it's okay.
I really enjoyed Next. I really did.
I did see one with him and Hayden Christensen on Netflix, and they're trying to, like, be knights from, like, the Crusades, and it's just some of the worst. It's visual garbage. It's just some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
If you're talking about knights and stuff, this is we actually talked about this on a show a while ago. If you're talking about knights, something that you can relate to knights with is D&D. And if you like D&D and you like LARP, that's fine, because I'm a nerd. I get down on these kinds of things every now and then. But a movie you got to check out is Knights of Badassdom with Peter Dinklage.
Oh, God, okay.
And I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, because I don't really watch Netflix too much. I have the movie on my Vudu account, and I watch Hulu and I watch my Vudu, which has all my movies on it. Which I got like about 1,500 movies on my Vudu account.
Holy shit!
Damn.
I told you guys I'm a huge movie buff. I love movies.
You weren't bluffing, man. Holy shit!
I have 1,500 movies on my Vudu account. If I'm watching something, it's a movie, or I'm watching wrestling. No lie. or I'm watching my local videos, on my YouTube channel. Not gonna lie.
Or you're watching some 50 Shades of Grey Barbies.
Watching some 50 Shades of Grey Barbie shit. Because that happens. Dude, seriously, it's 50 Shades of Grey Barbie. You guys are going to market that. And then you got to do the after effect of Harley Quinn Barbie.
Done.
Done. It's done.
Actually, screw music, guys. Let's go into merchandising.
Oh, bad. So, whew. All right, guys.
We're going into toys.
We're going into toys. Hey, toys, dude. Seriously, you can get some money out of the toys, because let me tell you,
not those kind of toys.
Oh,
not those kind of. No, but I have all of my wrestling action figures that I have on my wall. I keep them in the packaging.
Oh.
Because I'm like that. It's like, dude, if you take them out of the packaging, it decreases the value. also, do you know Pops? You know Pops, the Funko Pops? Have you seen those things?
Pops,
no.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, Jamie, I'll have to send you some pictures later on.
Yeah.
But I have a huge Pop collection, and I think I have like 50 Pops. Oh, Kaylee says she's gonna go count them. But
I used to have like circular things back then called Pogs.
Yeah, no, these
are... That's what you were thinking of at first.
No, these are like almost like... These are like little mini bobbleheads.
They were.
Jesus. You really just said that.
Oh, man. So, yeah, there was... I gotta say, there was a Finn Balor action figure that I wanted like seriously, really, really wanted this one because for my wrestling fans like me out there, you all know who Finn Balor is, and it was Finn Balor in his complete body paint that he does when he does on pay-per-views, and I was like, oh, and it was the first time ever done, and I spent like $45 on it, and so. But anyway, we've talked about toys, we've talked about 50 Shades of Grey, Barbie, we've talked about movies, but most importantly, we talked about Sweetalk and their music. Got to learn a little bit more about them. But man, we've went on massive tangents here. And it's all good though. It's all good. So
this was essentially a rehearsal for us. That's how practice goes.
This is we're drinking like 15 beers and we're gonna bullshit for a little bit. And
yeah, pretty much.
Now let's practice. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for giving me the time that you've given me. Really appreciate it, guys. Like I say to everybody, and like I say every time, keep the trend moving. # support local music. Like I said, I've seen it going out in California. I've seen it popping up in Arizona and New Mexico with people that I've been associating with from bands and whatnot. I've seen it going down in Tennessee and Florida, Illinois, Indiana. I'm seeing it all over Wisconsin, but that's because I live here. So, but keep the trend moving, guys. # support local music. Check out this song, Weather the Storm, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thanks so much for having us, Frankie.
Thank you very much.